Hey guys! Black Forest Labs released a smaller quantized version of Flux2 Dev called Flux2 Dev NVFP4, and I am absolutely blown away by the results. I honestly believe the quality of this quantized model is even better than the FP8 version of Qwen Image Edit 2511. In this video, I will show you where to get this model and how to speed up the generation using an 8-step turbo LoRa. Let's get started. All the download links used in this video are available in the description. Once you open the link for Flux2 Dev NVFP4, you will see a page like this. There are two NVFP4 models available. One is mixed and the other is normal. In terms of quality, I find the mixed version to be superior, so I will be using that one. However, you can also try the normal NVFP4. So download whichever you prefer. Next, to speed up the generation, we are going to use a turbo LoRa. Open the link for the turbo LoRa and you will see two versions available. I will be using the V2 version. As always, just click the download button to get it. After that, we need a text encoder. Open the link provided to find different quantized formats for Mistral Small 3. Depending on your hardware, you can download any of these. I will be using the FP4 mixed version, though I could also use FP8. Finally, we need the VAE. Open the VAE link and you will find the Flux2 VAE. If you don't have this yet, go ahead and download it. Once everything is downloaded, let's see where to place these files inside ComfyUI. As always, I am using the portable version of ComfyUI. Let's open the Models folder. Inside, you will find a folder called Diffusion Models. Open it up. This is where we put the Flux2 NVFP4 model. Next, for the turbo LoRa, let's go back to the parent folder and open the LoRa's folder. As usual, this is where we place the turbo LoRa. Then, return to the parent folder again and open the text encoders folder. This is where we put the Mistral Small 3 FP4. If you have the FP8 or BF16 versions, they should also be placed here. Finally, for the VAE, go back to the parent folder and open the VAE folder. This is where we put the Flux2 VAE. Now that the files are in place, let's switch over to ComfyUI and start using the Flux2 model. If you place the models inside ComfyUI while it was already running, simply refresh the interface by pressing R on your keyboard. Now we are ready. I have two workflows for using the Flux2 Dev model, one for text-to-image and another for image editing. ComfyUI also provides built-in workflows which you can find in the Templates window. First, let's focus on my text-to-image workflow, as it is very easy to understand. Like most workflows, the model loaders are located on the left side. In the Load Diffusion Model node, I have selected the Flux2 Dev NVFP4 mixed model. The output of this node is connected to the LoRa Loader Model only node, where I've selected the Flux2 Turbo V2 LoRa. From there, the LoRa loader connects directly to the K sampler. Now let's look at the text encoder, which is loaded using the load clip node. I have selected Mistral Small 3 FP4 mixed here. If you are using the FP8 version, you can select that instead. Make sure the type is set to Flux2. Some people accidentally change this and run into errors, so always double-check that your type is correct. You can also set the loading device. I'm using the default, but if you have low VRAM, I suggest trying the CPU option. The clip loader connects to the positive prompt, which then flows into the Flux guidance node. I'm using a guidance value of 4.0. This connects to the positive input of the K sampler. Since Flux models typically don't use negative prompts, we are using a conditioning 0 out node as a dummy for the negative input, so the node will have no impact on the image generation. On the far left, we have the Load VAE node for the Flux2 VAE and the empty Flux2 latent node where you can set your output resolution. Currently, I am using 1024 x 1024. Finally, let's look at the K sampler settings. I'm using a random seed and 8 steps, which is all you need when using a turbo LoRa. The CFG is set to 1.0, the sampler is Euler, the scheduler is set to simple, and the denoise value is 1.0. The K sampler output is connected to the VAE decode node, which transforms the latent space into a viewable image. From there, the image is saved using the Save Image node. Now that we have a good understanding of this workflow, let's start generating some images. I have already written several prompts in my notepad, so let's try them out. First, I'll copy this prompt for a Pixar-style image and paste it into the positive prompt box. Now, let's run the workflow and wait for the results. The generation is complete, so let's take a look at the result. Look at that, it is pretty amazing. I think there are some minor issues with her fingers, but overall, it's an incredible result, especially considering this is coming from the NVFP4 model. Now, what about the generation time? Let's check that. It took around 182 seconds, which is about 3 minutes. That's not bad at all. Without the turbo LoRa, the generation would be much slower than this. Next, let's try a realistic prompt. I'll copy this one, paste it into the positive prompt, and run the workflow. The generation is complete, so let's take a look. This is also an amazing result. Regarding the generation time, it was a bit slower than the previous one. We could speed things up by reducing the resolution, but for now, I'm going to stick with 1024 for both width and height. Now, let's try a prompt with text in it. I'll copy this prompt, paste it into the positive prompt, and run the workflow. As always, the generation is complete, so let's take a look. As you can see here, the 3D text rendering is really good. I also love that the text doesn't have any misspellings in it. Now, let's move forward and see how good this quantized model is when it comes to image editing. This workflow only supports up to 5 images for editing, even though the Flux2 Dev model can support up to 10. For the sake of this video, I reduced the number of image loaders, but later I will show you how to expand it back to 10. For now, let's get a basic understanding of how this workflow works. This workflow shares similarities with the text-to-image setup, but the main difference lies at the bottom where I've placed 5 image loader groups. Each group rescales the loaded image, transforms it into a latent, and combines it with the text conditioning. That data then flows into the Flux guidance node and finally into the K sampler. Right now, except for one group, every other group is in bypass mode. When you are not using a group, I suggest putting it on bypass mode. If you want to unbypass a group, it is simple. Just select the group, right-click, and click the option Set Group Nodes to Always. Now the group is active and you can start using it. Again, if you don't want to use it, just right-click on the group head and click on Bypass Group Nodes. It's as simple as that. I always recommend putting a group on bypass mode whenever you aren't using it. So first, let's focus on single image editing. Let's load an image into the Image 1 group. I'm going to choose this photo of a woman. I want to add a crown to her head. Before we type the prompt, I should mention that you can reduce the resolution for faster generation. Right now, every image loaded in this workflow is rescaled to 1 megapixel. You can use the Set Megapixels node to lower the resolution, for example, setting it to 0.5. However, because I want to show you the full quality, I'll keep it at 1.0. Now let's look at the positive prompt. I'll type, "The woman in Image 1 wearing a crown, keep her pose as it is." Now we're ready. Let's run the generation and wait for the result. It's finished, let's take a look. As you can see, she is wearing a crown and it was added beautifully without changing her pose. If we compare this to the original image, it almost looks like we performed an in-painting job. Now, let's try transforming this image into an anime art style. I'll type, "Transform this image into an anime art style." Now, let's run the workflow and see the result. The generation is finished. Let's take a look. Although the skin tone doesn't match, the model successfully copied the original composition. It's not a bad result. Now, let's edit another image. Whenever you perform a single image editing task, always use the Image 1 group. Let's upload a new one. I'll choose this photo of a woman sitting at a desk. This time, we're going to replace both the background and the surface she's sitting on. I'll head to the positive prompt and type, "Replace the background with a dusk cityscape." She sits on a rooftop edge with warm sun rays behind her. Now, let's run the workflow and see what we get. The generation is finished, so let's take a look. As you can see, she is in the exact same pose, but the surface she's sitting on and the background have completely changed. It's a great result. If we compare this to the original image, you'll notice there is very little zooming effect. I specifically designed this workflow to minimize that zooming issue. Now, let's try another image editing task. In the Image 1 group, I'll choose a different image. This time, a photo of a car. It looks like this photo was taken in the morning, so let's change the time of day to night. I'll go to the positive prompt and type, "Change the day to night." Now, let's run the workflow and see the result. The generation is finished, so let's take a look. As you can see, the result is quite good. Look at the text inside the image. It is almost identical to the original. I am honestly amazed by the result. It really looks like the photo was taken at night. Beyond just changing day to night, we can also change the season. For example, if you want a winter scene, you would just type, transform the image into winter season, then run the workflow. Actually, let's try something else instead, restoring an old photograph. I'll go to the first image loader and choose this old photo at the top. Let's restore it. In the positive prompt, I'll type, restore the image and add colors. Now, let's run the workflow and see the result. The generation is finished. Let's take a look. As always, the result is amazing. It looks like it was taken with a modern camera. Now, let's try another image editing task. I'll choose this old advertisement and click Open. In this image, I'm going to replace the text Coca-Cola with different text. Let's go to the positive prompt and type. Replace the Coca-Cola with text axiom graph, keep the original font color. If you are a beginner, always remember, when you want to add, remove, or replace text, always put it inside double quotes. Now, let's run the workflow and see how good the result is going to be. Regarding the last generation time, it took about 341 seconds, which is around 5.6 minutes. I know it is slow compared to the Qwen Image editing model when used with Lightning LoRa, but quality-wise, the Flux.2 Dev model still shines. The generation is finished, so let's take a look. As you can see, the model tried to keep the original font color while replacing the text. It also tried to match the font, though it is slightly different from the original. In terms of text rendering, it's an okay result. There are no spelling mistakes, and the other text in the image remains unaffected. Now it is time to use multiple images for editing. Let's go to the image loaders. First, I'll choose a new image for the first loader. Let's select this photo of a woman. This time, I'm going to change her dress and have her hold a bag. For the dress, I'll activate the second image loader group. I'll right-click on the group and select Set Group Nodes to Always. Now, let's choose an image that contains the dress I want. I'll select this one. Next, for the bag, I'll activate the third image loader group by right-clicking it and selecting Set Group Nodes to Always. I'll choose this photo of a white bag and click Open. Now, let's go to the positive prompt and type. The woman from image 1 wears the black bra and the pants from image 2, while holding the white bag from image 3 in her right hand. Let's run the workflow and see the result. The generation is finished, so let's take a look. Well, this wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but the result is still nice. Regarding her top, I made a mistake. It wasn't a bra, it was a crop top. I think my prompt needs some improvement, but overall, I like the result I got. Now, let's try another task. This time, we are going to replace an object. Let's choose a different image for the first image loader group. I'm going to use this photo of a red train. I want to replace this train with another one, so let's load a second train into the second image loader group. We don't need the third image loader group this time, so let's put it in bypass mode by right-clicking the header and choosing bypass group nodes. Now, let's try replacing the train. Go to the positive prompt and type, replace the train in image 1 with the train from image 2. Preserve the original train's color. Relight the train to match the scene of image 1. Now, let's run the workflow and wait for the result. As always, the generation is finished, so let's take a look at the result. Overall, it's a good result, but there is one problem. The reflection on the front glass hasn't changed. Other than that, the train really feels like it belongs in the scene. As you can see, we can perform a lot of different image editing tasks with this model. This small model is also quite good at removing unwanted objects, so let's try that as well. Let's go to the first image loader and choose a photo that contains a lot of people. This time, I'm going to remove everyone except for the dog on the floor. We won't need the second image loader group for this, so let's put it into bypass mode. Now, let's go to the positive prompt and type, remove the crowd from the image 1 except the dog. Now, let's run the workflow and see the result. The generation is finished, so let's look at the result. The crowd has been removed from the image, and I'm impressed that most of the reflections of the people on the train were also removed. As you can see, we can perform many different image editing tasks with this model. Now, what if you want to use more than 5 images? That is also possible. All you need to do is select a group and its nodes by holding the Control button and left-clicking, then copy it using Ctrl+C. Move your cursor to an empty space and press Ctrl+V. Now that we have a new image loader group, we need to connect it to the other image loader groups, which is also easy. Just connect the conditioning output of the reference latent node from the last group to the conditioning input of the newly added group. Then, connect its conditioning output to the input of the Flux guidance node. I also suggest renaming the new group to something like Image 6. You can add up to 10 image loader groups this way. But remember, when you want to use one, always unbypass it. Before ending this video, I want to say that this model is pretty amazing. I understand it is still slower compared to the Qwen Image edit model with Lightning LoRa, but I think the quality is much better than the FP8 version of the Qwen Image edit models. I suggest trying this model out and let me know what you think. See you soon with another video, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.